I just hit the record button and all of a sudden I'm sniffling in the nose. Oh my goodness, allergies. Am I right? So hello, my crochet friends. How are you guys doing? You doing okay? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Me, I've been good. I've had a lot of good days lately, and you know how you have the extreme ups and then the extreme downs, and it makes you so exhausted because you just cannot keep up. My days have been nice and steady. So while they've been good, they haven't been extremely high and they haven't been extremely low. So I really like that when my days just nice and steady, nothing out of the ordinary, although other than, I have a plumbing problem now, and the guy comes out to clean out the main drains, and he tells us that our pipes are actually broken under the house and out by the street, and it's going to cost us $10,000 to fix it. My husband's like, goodbye, see you later. Just clean out the main drain so it's not backing up into the bathroom. That's all we wanted, right? All right, so for today's video, I want to talk about Lion Brand ice cream yarn. Once I started working on this project, I became obsessed with the yarn, which is what I typically do. If you guys remember last year working on the Patrick Squares blanket, I became completely obsessed with variegated yarn, especially vintage variegated yarn. See, that's what I do. I say obsessed. It's just kind of like I throw myself in. All in, full force, lots of passion and lots of learning, and that's what I do. And I know to some people it might look like obsession, but to me it just looks like I'm being completely normal. Okay. So Lion Brand ice cream yarn. My original set of Lion Brand ice cream yarn was from 2015 or 16. I was just working through my stash recently to find all the labels, and it was listed as a number 2 sport weight yarn. And then sometime after that, oh, actually they called it a number 2 fine. Oh, yeah, it's sitting right here in front of me. This is a label for Tutti Fruitti, right? The J means I bought it at Joann's, but I bought it years ago, okay? See this? It says number 2 fine, right? But somewhere along the line, they changed the ice cream yarn to a number 3 light, or a DK weight. So here's the newer label. This is number 3 light. Now to me, working with it the way I have been this past month and a half, I don't see a difference in the weight of the yarn. It still feels the same. It doesn't feel super thin like a number 2, and it doesn't feel thicker like a number 3. It actually still consistently feels the same, but what do I know? Oh, and then here, Lemon Swirl with the old label, but as a number 3. So, you know, I think the yarn companies messing with our heads, and then we think we're crazy because we could have sworn it was a number 2, which they call fine. Some of us call sport weight. And nowadays it's a number 3. So if you think that the yarn has changed on the label, it absolutely has. You're not crazy. It absolutely has. The yarn companies can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And we are at their mercy half the time. I have a color in with the Lion Brand ice cream yarn that's called Banana Split. And I bought it in 2015 or 16, and I worked it up into a sample. And I had 2 balls of it, which are like 3.5 ounces and 394 yards each. They don't make that color anymore. And it's a shame because it's a beautiful color and I absolutely adore it. It is white, blue, yellow, orange, purple. I absolutely adore this, but they just do not make this anymore. I'd have to go to eBay. And when I do go to eBay and look up specific colors, I don't know what, 9 times out of 10, it's just not there. You know, nobody's selling it. So, all right. So what I did is I needed a project to work on, a mindless project. So that's where this one comes in, because I did it in granny, but not in a square, granny and rose, back and forth, right? I I think it shows the color variations and the changes in the colors very well with a granny in a row instead of a granny in a square. So since I needed something simple to work on, I didn't have to count after the initial starting chain in the first row, where I do a single crochet to make a nice firm foundation. And then row 2 and 3 are actually the granny repeat. Okay. After that, you just don't have to count anymore, and you don't have to pay attention to what you're doing, because every granny cluster goes into the space between the granny clusters of the row before. Nice and easy. And I like that. And what started it was when I'm sitting at my computer, where my computer's at, I've got that cabinet next to me. It's full of variegated yarn. That I saw the lemon swirl color, which is the 2 shades of blue with the yellow and the white. I saw that and I'm like, wow, you know, I think that would look really nice in granny in rows, right? Or stripes. Some people call it granny stripes. I don't call it granny stripes because the colors don't wind up striping, you know, so I just, it's in rows. So I had 3 balls of the lemon swirl color, and they all came from the thrift store. So between the 3 of them, 2 of them were full at 3.5 ounces, but with only 1 label. The third one was smaller, and when I weighed it on my scale, it was only 2.6 ounces, I want to say. So it was partially used. So I started with that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start the blanket with lemon swirl. I'm going to end the blanket with lemon swirl, and I'm going to use lemon swirl on the border since I had 3 balls of it, right? And that's what I did. I had another color in my own stash, Tutti Fruitti, where I had 1 ball of it, but I had a second ball that I had picked up at the thrift store. So I'm like, okay, so after the lemon swirl, I'll do Tutti Fruitti. And then when I get to the end, I'll do a Tutti Fruitti that was from the thrift store, and then the lemon swirl. So I did that. So while my skein of Tutti Fruitti was full at 3.5 ounces, the one from the thrift store, it was only 2.4 ounces. So it was partial, and it was hand wound. And unfortunately, what I didn't notice until I started working with it, it was tied because whoever had donated it to the thrift store probably used it for a project, and it was cut multiple times. So I have so many yarn tails that I need to sew in on the second time I use the Tutti Fruitti. Like here's a set here. So that's 2 right there. I've got 2 on the back side here. 3 and 2 more on the front. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different times that ball had been cut. I did get a little frustrated there towards the end, because I wanted this blanket to have some length to it and have some width to it. I was aiming for a throw size for an adult human and not a child. Okay. So these are pastel colors, and everybody always thinks babies and children. Well, I love pastel colors, and I'm 53 years old. I would love to have a blanket like this on my couch. So I made it for an adult, not for a child. Although the kids can use it if you know what I mean. So I made sure when I sat down with my hook, when I was doing the initial chain, to make sure that it was wide enough to sit on an adult's lap. Okay. So in the middle of it, I needed some colors to make up the bulk of the blanket, the body of the blanket. So I went to Joann's, and we all know that Joann's has gone out of business. It filed for bankruptcy. So this was in the early stages of them doing some yarn sales. It was only like 25% off. But I bought 3 colors at Joann's: Cake Batter, Bunny Tracks, and Love Potion. So this one is Cake Batter. It's pinks and blues with white. And then Bunny Tracks, which is green, yellow, blue, pink, and white. And then Love Potion, which is green, blue, pink, white, and purple. I think that's the only purple in the blanket. Yeah. Okay. So I had given you guys some updates as I was working on it, and then I got to the point where I needed to work on the border, and I got stuck because I have some Lion Brand Baby Soft. Is it called Baby Soft? That one I don't have the label for sitting with me because I didn't use the whole skein of it. I only used some of it. And in the color Bluebell. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to use Bluebell to start with, to end with, or if I wanted to use white. And in my comment section, you guys were split like 50-50. Half of the people are like, start with Bluebell. Half the people were start with white. I went with Bluebell because this blanket has a lot of blue in it and it has a lot of color in it. So I wanted a lot of color in the border too. So I did one round of Bluebell in the granny. I did grannies in every other end of the row, okay? And then I did grannies in the, you know how you do the increases in the corners. Oh, I got one round of Bluebell in the granny stitch, okay? And then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of lemon swirl, okay? And then my last round was single crochet in the Bluebell. So I went Bluebell in the granny. I went lemon in the granny. I did add some white because I ran out of lemon swirl on the last side. So it's a mix of Bluebell and white on this last side. And then the final round was just single crochet in the Bluebell, which I absolutely love the way the border came out. You know how yarn does when you have a variegated yarn that has long color changes, sometimes it can pull and it makes a pattern. Well, this kind of pulled. I wound up with a lot of yellow and white on one end and a lot of the blue on another end. So it did accidentally pull a little bit on me. And pool as in P-O-O-L, like a pool of water. So I enjoyed making this blanket tremendously because it was just so relaxing. And the reason why I didn't have a lot of video footage for you guys is because I was actually working on it at night. Because I didn't need light to see what I was doing. I didn't need brain power to count anything. And I could work on it while my husband and I were watching maybe a TV show on Netflix or a movie on Netflix. Or, you know, when I'm sitting at my computer watching YouTube, I was able to work on this. And then partway through working on this, I started a second blanket with Lion Brand's other ice cream yarn, which was called Sprinkles. And I'm sorry because that blanket came out so beautiful, but they don't make the Lion Brand ice cream sprinkles yarn anymore. And I'm sorry that a lot of my projects, I'm using discontinued yarn. I didn't know that when I bought the yarn so many years ago, that the yarn companies just love to discontinue stuff. And I don't know why they do it, because you just find something you fall in love with, and then they just stop making it. And, you know, so they still do make Lion Brand ice cream yarn. They have new colors. They've discontinued some of the older colors. And then they still have some that they still make to this day. So I really, really love this. I know I'm moving it all around. You're like, hold it still. Let me see. There we go. That's the lemon swirl and the border. There's some Tutti Fruitti. Yeah, you can see that, right? There's Love Potion. There is Bunny Tracks. I really like the Bunny Tracks color. That yellow, because it's brighter than the other yellows in the other balls of yarn. I love it. Love a good shade of yellow. This one was the blues and the pinks. Cake Batter. And then back to Tutti Fruitti, back to Lemon Swirl, and the border. All right, so my initial starting chain was 180 plus 2 for the turning chain. My first row was single crochet. Rows 2 and 3 is the granny repeat. I just measured it just before I sat down with you guys. I did come out at 50 inches wide, 55 inches tall. So yes, it will sit on an adult-sized human. Let's see, from my chin, yeah, makes it to my ankles. And I am 5'2". So a little under 5 feet, but a little more than 4 feet. Okay, I love this blanket. So I have numbers for you. We're going to do this like I used to do way back in the day when I was working from my project pile, right? So 10 balls of yarn, but I still have Bluebell left and I still have white left because they were different yarns that are not ice cream yarn. So I used 3 balls of lemon swirl, 2 of Tutti Fruitti, 1 of cake batter, 1 of bunny tracks, and 1 of love potion, with a little bit of the Bluebell and a little bit of the white. I started it on February 1st and I finished it mid to early March. So sometime after March started, but before March ended. Because what is today? Today's March 25th. So I finished it actually about a week or 2 weeks ago. I haven't been able to sit down and film. Let's see. My hook size was an E, or a 3.5 millimeter. The yarn is so some of the labels say number 2 fine, number 3 light. So that's the thickness of the yarn. I did figure it out. I did yardage. I used roughly 30 ounces of yarn. So if you are buying yarn that is a number 2 or a number 3, go 30, 35 ounces. Or about 2,500 yards, okay? Cost-wise, $2, $3.74, $4.87, $4.87, $4.87, $2, $2, and then some partials. So I spent $29.35 on yarn. Timing for just a standard row of the granny, okay, 9 minutes. And I did 117 rows at 9 minutes. Comes into 1,053 minutes, right? So for the initial chain, that was about 5 minutes. The first row of single crochet, because that first row is very fiddly, it took me about 10 to 12 minutes. The border on the short sides, doing the granny, 9 minutes. But there was 6 rows on this end, 6 rows on this end. The long sides, about 15 minutes a piece. Okay, so all total. Now I haven't done my yarn tails yet. See, that's the thing. When I get done with a blanket, for me, done is done crocheting. You know, it's not about yarn tails, and it's not about blocking, and it's not about washing or drying. It's just about the crocheting part. So I have not done yarn tails yet. I haven't thrown it in the washer yet. I haven't dried it yet. But I did come in at 1,382 minutes, divided by 60 minutes in 1 hour. It comes into 23 hours, 23 hours and change. Okay. So almost a full day, 23 hours working on this. If I charged $20 an hour, $20 is a good number to charge people, right? It'd be $460. Would you pay $460? No. Even I wouldn't. So like I do them because I'm a total math nerd. I do the math on $1 an hour. That's $23 I could charge for it. $2 an hour, $46. $5 an hour, $115. 10 hour, I mean, yeah. Put my H in the wrong spot. If I did 23 hours at $10 an hour, because what's minimum wage these days? $10 an hour would be $230. $15 an hour would be $345. If I did like what my husband makes at his job, because he makes a little over $30 an hour, $759. It's insane. Crafters cannot charge those kinds of prices for their stuff, especially not blanket makers. And I don't crochet slow. I do not crochet slow at all. This is actually pretty fast. So, you know, I'd be charging $2 an hour. I want my $2. You guys remember that movie? John Cusack. Was it Better Off Dead? Good movie. Fun times. All right, so what other kind of information did I need to give you? Lion Brand ice cream yarn in all the colors, size, shape, when I started. Yep. How many hours? How much I spent on yarn? Yeah. Okay. So those are all the details. I love doing all the numbers after the fact. How many balls of yarn did I use? How many skeins of yarn did I use? Were they full skeins or balls? Were they partial? How much did I spend on it? How much time did it take me? I love working on the numbers part. I really do. I think it's a shame that as crafters that we cannot charge what other people charge to make things. It's just not possible. We really have to, and it's not, I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to say. I'm not devaluing my time and my experience. And I mean, I've been crocheting since I was 9 years old, and I'm in my 50s. So, 40 years. I've been crocheting for a long time. I know a thing or two. Do I consider myself an expert? I mean, I might have put in the hours for it, but I'm still learning every day. I'm always learning something new. So I'm not trying to devalue what I do, but in reality, you cannot charge $20 an hour for a blanket when it takes you 23 hours to make the blanket. You cannot charge that. It's highway robbery, and it's ridiculous. And you can't fall back on, well, it's handmade. Yeah, I know it's handmade, but you can't charge that kind of dollar amount. So like, if you guys ever go look at my Etsy shop, which is Granny Square Peg on Etsy, you'll notice that I do not charge a lot for my blankets. I charge enough for the money I spent on the yarn and about $2 an hour for my time. That's what I charge. And I'm okay with that. It's my time, and I can charge whatever I want for it. I can give this stuff away if I wanted to. So now that I'm off my soapbox, see, I spent a lot of years working craft shows with my mom, and the women that would come to the table and say, "You're charging too much for that." Just for a woman right behind her to come along and say, "You're not charging enough for that." You guys are completely split. Half of the people say you're charging too much. Half of the people say you're not charging enough. But really, crocheters don't buy other crocheter stuff. It's the people who don't crochet, who don't craft. They're the ones buying our stuff. They're the ones with all the buying power. They're the ones with their money, and they decide how much money they are willing to spend. They have all the power. We do not. And I'm learning that as I'm trying to run my Etsy shop. I'm learning that myself. And yeah, sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow. But, and like shipping, I don't work for the post office. I have no say in the cost to ship something. I have a say in what size box I use. I try to use the smallest box possible, because the bigger the box, the more the post office charges. But once you get done folding a blanket, sometimes they don't fold very small. They are hard. And especially me, because I make big blankets. They don't fold very small, but I try to get them as small as possible, to use the smallest box possible to get the lowest rate at the post office. And then, there's all the tape you put on the box that adds weight to it. So that adds to the fee. I put my blankets in a bag so they are protected from rain. Okay. The last thing I want is for a blanket to show up on somebody's doorstep in a cardboard box that is completely soaked because it's raining. So I put a bag in there. Well, I got to pay for the bags, So I put the blanket in a bag, and I put that in a box, and then I put tape on the box. And then I have to drive it to the post office. And the post office doesn't look at me and say, "Hey, you know what? You're working really hard. You can have anything today shipped for free." No. They don't do that. Oh boy, did I just go off on a rant about pricing and costs, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. When I sit down to do these videos, I don't put a lot of thought into what I want to say. Things just kind of come to me. And then sometimes I rant about things. Sometimes I cry about things. Sometimes I laugh about things. So don't take me too seriously. We all have our own opinions, and I'm pretty sure you guys will let me know down in the comments below if I'm right, wrong, or completely crazy. My goodness. See, the thing, I guess for me, where I'm coming from, I want to grow my channel. I'm at 6,200 subscribers, and it's March. I would love to see it hit 10,000 by the end of the year. So if you guys are watching my video and you like my craziness, you like the patterns that I'm working and I'm giving to you free of charge, think about hitting the subscribe button. YouTube tells me half of you have done that. The other half hasn't. So if I am helping you in any way, shape, or form, if I'm inspiring you, you think I'm funny, or you get mad about everything I say and you want to put it down in the comments, it's fine. It's fine. Just think about hitting the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free. So I would like to grow my channel, and I would like to do more free patterns, but I would also like to start mixing in some paid patterns, because I do work hard on getting these numbers right on certain things. Okay. So I'm thinking about having some paid patterns, like my tree skirt that I'm working on. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into it. I'm thinking about charging for it. So I'd like to grow my channel. I'd like to grow my Etsy shop. I would like to get every single blanket that I have made. I would like to get it listed, but it's so hard because I do become emotionally attached to them. I really do. I love my blankets, but a girl can only have so many, right? My couch right now, here, my spider stitch blanket that we did the crochet along, it's on my couch. My Karen Cakes leftover blanket that we did a crochet along, it's on my couch. This one, I just did a video on this, I don't know, back in the beginning of my channel, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's Hirschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn, and I did it in a waffle stitch. This used to be at my computer, but now it's on my couch. I wrap it around my shoulders at night because it's a very lightweight blanket. So, I don't need all the blankets, and it's time to let them go, and it's time to sell every single one of them. I have enlisted my husband's help. I'm learning to delegate. When my husband writes, and by write, I mean type on the computer, my husband's typing skills, my goodness, he blows us out of the water. He types so fast and so accurate. But he's a bit long-winded, but he's also very poetic when he writes. So he is going to be writing all the blanket descriptions. So he'll do the poetic part. Like if you want to curl up with the blanket underneath the moonlit starry sky, that's my husband. Me, I'm all about the details. It's 50 inches tall. It's 55 inches wide. It cost me this much to make it. It's made out of 100% acrylic. I'm all about the details. My husband's all about the poetry. So he has a bin next to his computer that he's going to start working on. I went back through my own videos, and we picked out every blanket that I'd done a video on in 2022 that I haven't listed yet. He's got them sitting next to his computer. So they should be showing up within the next couple weeks. So for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to weave in all these yarn tails. And then I'm going to throw it in the washer because my house is dusty. I have 2 cats. I'm going to throw it in the washer on the gentle cycle, and then I will lay it as flat as I can to let it dry. And I might tumble it on the fluff cycle. A lot of dryers have that. Some call it a fluff cycle. Some call it a no air cycle. So it's no hot air. It's just room temperature air, and it just tumbles it. And then I will come back and I will show you when it doesn't have any yarn tails and it's been washed, and I'll lay it out on the bed so you can see what all this yarny goodness looks like. Okay? So this is where I'll be pausing the video. So for you guys, it'll be a couple seconds. For me, I'll finish it up tomorrow. And I should just say, here we go. Hey friends, so it's the next day for me and it'll only be a couple of seconds for you. I have the blanket washed and I did tumble it in my dryer for about 20 minutes on the no heat setting. And then I laid it flat to dry. Now I've got this little trick, okay? I don't literally lay it flat, like 55 inches this way and 50 inches this way. I fold it in half, fold it in half again, so it's a quarter, and it's squared. That's how I lay it flat to dry. A couple hours later, I will go unfold it and fold it in the other direction. So the part that was on the top that's dry is now on the bottom, and the part that's damp is on the top so it can dry. That's how I lay flat to dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this upstairs to my bedroom and we're going to lay it out on the bed and I can show you the full effect of what the blanket looks like. I can't do it on my bookcase today because I actually have stacks of books on the floor in front of the bookcase. They need to be put away. So let's go upstairs. So let's all say hi to Arlo, the most handsomest cat ever, who looks very sleepy while he's taking his nap on a bin full of blankets, crocheted blankets. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of my new yarn storage. Woohoo! All my yarns in one spot. All right, you know, give me a minute to make my bed and then I'll lay the blanket out. Okay, friends, so here it is laid out on my bed. What did I say yesterday? It was 50 inches wide by 55 inches tall. Okay. I love the way this blanket worked up with all the colors. I'm a big fan of lots of color in a blanket. So this blanket makes my heart oh so very happy just looking at it. And the camera's shaking because I'm talking with my hands. All right, so here is the beginning of the blanket in the lemon swirl. That was a partial ball that I bought from the thrift store. Here is Tutti Fruitti, which was a full ball of yarn. Cake batter. Bunny tracks. So cake batter and bunny tracks were brand new. I bought them at Joann's. Love Potion, that was brand new. Tutti Fruitti again. And then Lemon Swirl again. The Tutti Fruitti was only partial. It was bought at the thrift store. Lemon Swirl was a full ball, but it was bought at the thrift store. And then Lemon Swirl on the border, which was a full ball. See how like the yellows all wound up on this side, right? While the blue and yellow is at the top. And then a mix of blue, yellow, and white on this side. And where the lemon swirl ran out, I went with plain old white that I had, and then put in some Bluebell and some more white until I got to a corner, which finished off the round. And then I did a round of single crochet in the Bluebell. I'm sorry, I'm having an allergy attack today, and it's really getting to me. So, it got a little dark, and it started raining today, so that's why the blanket is half in sun and half in shadow. My room is getting a little dark because of the rain. And that side of the room, that's my husband's side, is getting dark over there. But I really do love the way this blanket came out. See if I can get all the way up so you can see it. So my bed's a king size bed. I think it came out as a good throw size. It's a little big to call it a lap blanket. It's more of a throw because it can cover you from your ankle to your neck, you know. But I really do. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous and fun and soft and pastel and bright. And it says sunshine. And it says happiness. Okay, ready? There is Arlo. That out there is a little hallway between my bedroom and the bedroom across from us, which my 18-year-old has. Where Arlo's sitting is the doorway to what used to be a bathroom. The previous owner in the 80s took out the shower stall because there was a shower stall that was built in the 50s, and there was a toilet and a sink. When we got it, the toilet didn't work, so we didn't use it. We only just took the toilet out a couple of years ago. And then the sink, it had sprung a leak, so we took that out and we turned it into a closet for our daughters. They had their dressers in there, their clothes, their shoes, their shower towels. So when one daughter moved downstairs into a bedroom that's got her own closet, and so the kid upstairs has more room for their dresser, that just became an empty room. It's technically a bathroom, but that is now my new yarn storage room. And I have a series of videos coming out very soon. I think early April. Videos of me getting all of my yarn together and putting it together in that room right there. I'm at home, I'm calling it my crochet bathroom, but no, it's my yarn room that used to be a bathroom. But whatever. So Arlo's sitting guard. He's like, Mom, are we going to go and play with yarn? Oh, look at him. So handsome. So I still have yarn and actually more blankets and projects in my room that I'm still working on those videos. So this blanket, I'm calling it done. So let's relocate back downstairs where there's a little bit more sunlight. And my tripod. Okay, so did you guys see the blanket? I mean, it looks awesome, right? Lion Brand as a yarn. I really do enjoy the Lion Brand ice cream yarn. I enjoy their color selection. I like mixing all the colors together because I love lots and lots of color. I do see a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see that. A little bit of pilling since I washed it yesterday. Now I did wash it on my washer does have a hand wash cycle and a delicate cycle, and I'm not sure what the difference is. So I did pick hand wash because I think that would be the less violent of the washing cycles, but there is a little bit of pilling. I don't think it's bad. But it does make it hard to take pictures, which I just took pictures when I got done filming for you guys. I did take some pictures so I can stick it in my Etsy shop and sell it. Because as much as I love it, and I love all the colors, girl's got too many blankets on her couch as it is. And it's getting to that time of year where it's time to take the blankets and put them away for the season. And, you know, so, I know for me, it was yesterday's version of, for me, it was filming yesterday. I might have gone on a little rant about pricing. And I feel like I should apologize for it, but at the same time not, because it's how I feel. Feelings are valid. I guess in my crochet videos, it's completely appropriate because I want to sell what I make. And I have to come up with a pricing strategy that works for me, that I'm comfortable with, that I'm okay with. And I get a lot of feedback that I'm doing it wrong. I'm either doing it too low or too high. So everybody's got their own opinions about it. And they really make sure that they tell you all about their opinions and how right they are. So I kind of went a little loose in the video about it, a little hot-headed maybe, but I see it as being passionate, right? Other people see me as being hot-headed. But either way, so I'm just going to leave it in the video because that's me. That's how I am. That's how I see things, and that's how I process things. So yes, I spent $30 on yarn, and after I spent an hour weaving in all those ends and then the time to wash it, I get to add another hour to the time. I came up with what, 23 hours? So a full 24 hours. And I have to come up with a pricing strategy that works for me. Hopefully by the end of the week, it will be listed in my Etsy shop. Not that you guys want to buy it because you're crocheters yourselves. I showed you my numbers on how to do it. You can go out and make your own. But, you know, just in case you know somebody who wants a blanket, send them to my shop. Granny Square Peg at Etsy. Where was I going with all that? I have no idea. I lost my train of thought, which that happens too. I woke up with a headache this morning, and full of sinus pressure. So it is making it a little bit hard for me to think through what I'm doing. Anyway, so I still have more Lion Brand yarn that I was working through that's been in my stash since 2015 or 16. And I made a second blanket just like this one, Granny, in rose, okay? But with the Lion Brand Ice Cream Sprinkle yarn, where it is a white base, or more like a soft white. And then it has these speckles and sprinkles of color, okay? So I did make it, it is a granny, and it is in rose. And the border is done, but same as with this one, I've got yarn tails I need to tuck in, sew in. There we go, yarn tails. This one came out so pretty. It's got such a soft look to it and a very feminine vibe to it. For the border, I went with a soft white, 2 rounds of soft white, 2 rounds of soft pink, and then 2 rounds of granny and 1 round of single crochet in the soft white. And it makes for a very beautiful, very soft, very feminine blanket. So I will be doing a video on that one next week because I need some time to tuck in those yarn tails and whatever. And then I actually have a third project with Lion Brand ice cream yarn, and it was my original project that I had been working on in 2015 or 2016. So I will show you that in about 2 weeks, maybe. Maybe I'll spread these out. This one today, this soft one next week, and then that third original one week after that, okay? And then I've got videos coming out about taking all my yarn out of its bags and boxes and getting it all onto a shelf in a not used bathroom in my house because it no longer has a toilet, no longer has a sink, no longer has a shower stall. So it's just a big glorified closet. So I've been working really hard on those videos, and I've been doing that for the last month and a half, which is why I haven't seen you guys lately, because I've been filming every day and talking to you every day. You just didn't know it. So I'm going to call that quits here today. Tell you guys how much I love you, and I appreciate every single one of you for sitting here and watching my videos. I appreciate it. If you've made it this far and you've been watching for a while, let me know, please, down in the comments below about the ads that Google and YouTube places in my videos. Let me know, are they appropriate for you? And are they in a good spot? Because YouTube has been changing how they do those little commercials and the little ads inside of a video. And I think I have most of the default settings. So I need some feedback from you guys. Are the ads too much and I need to take some out? Are they in a good spot? And are they appropriate? Because I did have one setting where I turned off. I want nothing religious, nothing political, nothing sexual, nothing violent. So they should not be showing up in my videos. But please let me know down in the comments below. Are the ads okay? And if not, what do you see that's wrong with them? So I can go check all my settings and maybe fix a thing or two. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would help me out with that. You know, I love you. And I have lots of fun doing these videos. I really do. I enjoy talking to you guys. I love the little community that we've built down in the comment section. You guys are awesome. You're understanding. You've got big hearts. And I want you to know that you matter to me. I think you are awesome. You guys make me laugh. You make me cry. A few of you make me roll my eyes. But, you know, we're all here. It's all good. For anybody who's new, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.